Should I refuse to loan my son an entire year's pay unless he increases his income? My son, 40M, is 40 years old, has an IQ well into the 140s, documented by multiple statistically valid tests, graduated from one of the best public high schools in the USA, one of the most well-respected universities in the USA, BS in a difficult and highly marketable life science. 75M, paid for his college and law school educations, which cost me over $250,000. When he graduated from law school 10 years ago, he was completely debt-free. About 8 years ago, his grandmother died and left him $100,000. I did not force him to go to law school. I wanted him to get a PhD in molecular biology. It was his free choice to go to law school, and I supported his decision 100%. It was also his free choice of where to go to college and high school. I did not force any of these big decisions on him. Since graduating from law school 10 years ago, he has never actually had a real lawyering job. He has had several short-term jobs with law firms which were basically clerical or document review, but those did not last long. I offered to pay his living expenses for an entire year while he served as an unpaid intern at the law firm of his choice, so he could get some experience, but he was not interested. I ended up paying his living expenses while he unsuccessfully looked for work for over a year. He is currently not licensed to practice law in the state where he lives. Getting a law license in that state requires him to take a refresher course in state law and pass the state's bar exam, but is not very difficult. Hundreds of lawyers do it every year in that state. He lives in a state where it is relatively easy to get licensed if you have a law license in another state. I have offered to pay for him to get his law license in the state where he lives, but he is not interested. For the past 10 years, he has worked jobs which do not even require a high school education. These are good, honest work that help people and need to be done. They are not helping profession, jobs like social work. They're just menial and unskilled. He is not cheating anyone, harming the environment, or doing anything that I'm ashamed of. I'm not thrilled that I spent literally a third of my retirement money to pay for an education that he is not using. But his lifestyle is his choice, and if it makes him happy, then I am happy for him. A few days ago, he told me that he has $40,000 in unpaid debt in several different loans and credit cards, and asked me if he could borrow enough money to pay them all off. This is about an entire year's pre-tax income for him. This is the first time he has asked me for significant amounts of money, either as a gift or loan, except for school expenses I've previously described, although I do send him $1,000 every year for his birthday and Christmas. I am 75 years old and retired. $40,000 is about 1/4 of my 401k money. I am very healthy for my age, and most of my ancestors lived well into their 80s or 90s, with an occasional centenarian. Even though I get a nice Social Security check, I still use some of my 401k money every month, and it's likely that I'll need even more of it when I get older. Aside from the obvious question of how he is going to pay me back when he is already struggling with this debt, I want him to improve his quality of life as well as his income. He is not in default on any of these loans, so this is not an emergency. He is not married and has no children or anyone else dependent on him for financial support. I offered to help him with this debt if he would get some training in anything that would increase his income. This could be trade school, mechanic, plumber, etc., 2-year college, clinical lab tech, x-ray tech, computer tech, 4-year post-baccalaureate degree which takes less than 4 years because you only take courses in your major, accountant, software engineer, or whatever. He has complete freedom to pick what he wants to do. I would loan him the money to get this training. He is in excellent health and could easily do any of these jobs. I would not charge him any interest, but I need some assurance that he will generate enough income to pay back the money I'm loaning him. The way he complains about the jobs he has tells me that he isn't happy with his current job possibilities. So this is a good opportunity to take a new direction. He is not happy about my decision. I'm not going to go into detail, but he badly wants me to loan him this money. He will agree to a signed contract which specifies the terms and conditions, repayment schedule, etc., but no other strings attached. I am willing to let him live the life he wants to live. I paid over $250,000 to give him this choice, which was completely wasted IMO. But that's a sunk cost, and I'm willing to let it go. I just want him to be happy. But if he wants any more of my money, even as an interest-free loan, he is going to have to make some changes to give himself a better life. As things stand now, I'm not going to loan him any money. I'm just wondering if I'm doing the right thing, or if there is another alternative that my son and I have overlooked.